Hi Libra, welcome to your reading for August 2023. Now, when we talk about Libra, we're talking about social networks, social contracts, diplomacy, friendships, and these kind of things. Now, that's a major part of what's going on for you guys this month, is reevaluating these social contracts and reevaluating where you stand with others, reevaluating what you will and won't tolerate in your friendships, and moving on from anything that doesn't align with your sense of value. This is very much the end of a long cycle where maybe you felt like you really went with the flow in your relationships, even though it wasn't really what you wanted to do, or you felt the need to please everyone or really be that mediator and kind of put yourself, like compromise yourself and put yourself on the side to please everyone and really be that mediator. And this is the end of a cycle where you've had to learn these harsh lessons through your relationships, and you're really undergoing a huge transformation. And this transformation stems from understanding your value, understanding how you want to be recognized in the world, and how you want to present yourself, how you want to be seen, all these kinds of things. And it's a little bit of a tumultuous time because you're getting to know yourself in a very intimate way, where instead of being this mediator and compromising yourself, you're learning to put yourself first and learning to value yourself and what you will and won't tolerate in these connections. And so this is a very private time where you're going through a lot of big transformations because, like I said, this is the end of a cycle where you've had these social contracts where you felt like maybe you had to spread yourself thin or please everybody, or maybe this is something you were born into, like your family constructs or something like this. And now that's really changing because the more you reevaluate these relationships, the more you see what does and doesn't work for you, what you will and will not tolerate, the more you find these relationships crumbling apart, and there could be fighting, there could be anxiety as you try to assert yourself in this new way because you are just not tolerating these things. Now, it's also very easy at this time to get caught in a place where you feel like everything you've ever did is wrong, like get caught in that headspace where you're rethinking everything that's ever happened, everything you've ever said, everything that other people have done, everything that you've done. You're finding yourself just trapped in the past and trapped in this self-criticism. But these things aren't being shown to you because you deserve to berate yourself for the actions of the past or the things that you've tolerated in the past. It's to show you this is like the culmination of a many-year cycle you don't have to berate yourself for what's happened in the past or feel like it's cringe or sit there and be anxious about it. It is you recognizing what has happened and what you won't tolerate. It's like everything flashing before your eyes because you are about to move into a major transformation where your relationships look different because your sense of self is different. So you might find yourself at this time reevaluating a lot of your relationships, or a lot of your relationships falling away as you try to assert yourself, as you try to assert these new boundaries where you say, I'm not just going to be the mediator, I'm going to be who I am, and I'm going to let myself shine in the forefront. I'm not just going to compromise myself to keep everyone happy. I'm going to say the truth based on my true values, based on true forms of justice or my personal ideas about justice. I'm not just going to go with the flow just to keep everyone happy because, and this confidence that you have, it's sparking this new kind of relationship with yourself because when you're putting yourself on the back burner to compromise yourself or overextend yourself in your relationships, or you find yourself in relationships that aren't really, you feel like they're not really for you, but you just go with the flow anyway because of these certain social contracts. It's like when you decide to truly come into yourself with confidence, you are re sparking this new relationship with yourself, this new that has been neglected before by way of putting others first or trying to be that mediator. So you could notice as you begin this new cycle that a lot of friendships fall away or there could be fighting. And when there is the fighting, there is that emotional confusion, there is that anxiety, these things that keep you up all night, the things that keep your head reeling, like I could have said this differently, or I can't believe this person did this to me, and like there are all these things that keep you up at night, and you really don't want to get stuck there. You want to recognize what it is and see it as something instead of holding yourself there and feeling embarrassed, feeling down, feeling critical. Think of it as something you will or won't tolerate. And even though maybe relationships are falling apart, maybe things that you're used to are falling apart, it's because you have ended this cycle where you need to be involved in these types of social contracts. And it can feel confusing, it can feel scary, it can feel like you don't really know your place right now, like your foundation is breaking because your identity is changing, or rather, your identity, who you are, has always been there, but it's been masked by this mediator role or this compromising role. And you're choosing to step into your true power now, to step into confidence, to bring in relationships that are really aligned with your values, where you can really live your dreams and do things that make you happy and meet people that make you happy. So at this time, it can feel like your foundation is crumbling, but your foundation is only crumbling because it was based on the you who put themselves in the background to be this mediator. And now you're coming into the full, your own power, putting yourself out there, gaining confidence. And this might not happen all at once. This is very much a private transformation that's happening right now. But the more you change your thinking and the more you spark this inner relationship with yourself and renew yourself emotionally and spiritually, you're ending these contracts and things will slowly start to fall away. I also want to say it's important, if you do find yourself stuck in this place of anxiety and self criticism and thinking about the past, it's important to not hold yourself there. It's important not to delve into back into relationships you know are toxic, that you know aren't serving you, that you know if you delve back into these relationships you're going to have to compromise yourself again. You don't want to keep putting yourself through this cycle. You're about to start a new cycle, and it can feel unnerving, it can feel scary, because the only thing you really have to go on is the faith and the confidence that you have in knowing what your beliefs are, knowing where you stand, and building that new sense of trust within yourself. You won't compromise yourself. You're building this deeper connection with yourself. And it can feel unnerving because it might feel like you don't have that foundation, you don't have that support system yet, because your internal world is shifting right now, and the external world will come to meet you, but you have to step forward in confidence and faith and be willing to walk away from what you know isn't right for you, what you know is not fair to you, what you know causes you to compromise yourself in a way that you can never let yourself shine, or you can never come into your true power and really find fulfilling relationships that are based on the best qualities of yourself, where everybody is able to shine in this way and everybody has these values where you can share this sense of happiness, you can share this sense of friendship without having to downplay your beliefs or downplay yourself. So, yeah, it's easy to get caught in the overanalyzing, the self-criticism, especially when you're going through something so private. But you have to have faith. At this time, your external world is shifting, your friendships are shifting, your networks are shifting, because who you are is shifting as you develop this new relationship with yourself, this new intimate relationship. And as you grow into this power, it's ending these social contracts, it's ending these ties, maybe spiritual ties you've had to people, and it can feel very daunting. It can feel like you don't have this foundation, but that foundation is coming, and you will look back on this and be grateful that you stepped into your power confidently, that you had the confidence to say what you think is right or wrong and not tolerate disrespect in situations or having to compromise yourself in a negative way in situations. So, if in these times of confusion, in these times of uncertainty, when it feels like your relationships are murky, when it feels like things are falling apart, remember that you're doing this for you, to put you on the forefront, to make your own self your best friend, and know that everything will come because of that. People will be attracted to this confident version of you, and you will have harmonious relationships, true harmony in relationships, not harmony that is created out of you putting yourself on the back burner. So don't be tempted to run into nostalgia, to run into things that you know don't work for you, because you are afraid of what could happen. You are ending the cycle, you are calling the shots, you are dictating how you want your relationships to thrive and what kind of people you want in your life. So build that relationship with yourself, and don't be afraid to see people fall away that aren't meant to be there. You will find the people that are meant to be with you and have this harmony in your relationships. And remember, if you're feeling this inner criticism, if you're struggling with anxiety, reeling over the past, laying awake at night, feeling like everything is murky, remember this isn't something that you need to go over and over again to hold you down, but it's actually something trying to show you a revelation about a pattern that happens in these situations. And when you can realize there's a lesson or a pattern or something of this nature blocking you, you can release yourself from that. And it will not only build your connection and trust with yourself, but it will allow you to confidently move through this murky time when it comes to your relationships, to understand the patterns and behaviors, not hold yourself there because you think that it's so bad, but to understand what you won't accept from yourself or other people anymore. So there's like an epiphany or a lesson to be learned in that space, not to just sit there and reel over and over again. All right, guys, that's what I have for you this month. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.